Okay, so I'm back again and you're back again. Thank you for coming again. Thank you for coming up to my site, DJ DH channel, Eclectic. And this is a health message. Yes, it's an important health message. Health for your eyes and health for your aging. Now, you may look at me and think, well, he's got glasses on and he's aging. Well, the reason is I didn't know about this research. It hadn't been done. And I am feeling younger now than I was a couple of months ago. I've had a lot of injuries, which have caused me to lose most of my left ventricle of my heart, which pumps the blood around my body. I've only got 37% left of that pump in my heart. I've had a deep brain stroke, a deep brain bleed, which I refused treatment for, and I've recovered as best as possible. I've had loads of accidents. I've smashed my hands several times. I've had operations on my hands. I'm my second replacement hip. After another accident where I fell down a load of concrete steps and smashed it. Didn't break my hip. I smashed it. It was in smithereens. It went wrong. The operation went wrong. A few months later, I had to have it out and a new titanium hip put in. I'm doing okay. I can get around, but with the lack of pumping around of my blood, which takes the oxygen with it, of course, I no longer run. But I can walk. I can get around, and I got really ancient looking, and I'm feeling now that I'm coming back. Now, what is it I've done? What is it I've done? Well, I'm going to tell you about a report. Now, this is a report that has been created in America. You've heard of the CDC, the Centre for Disease Control and Prevention. They've done a report, and I want to relate it to you. Instant coffee. Yes, instant coffee. Now, I'm a great coffee drinker. I got up in the morning, first thing I did was put the kettle on, do an instant coffee. Half an hour later, I'm having instant coffee. And I'm not talking about little coffee mugs. I'm talking about big mugs, sort of half a pint of coffee. And I would do this all through the day. And it has its effects. Now, let me tell you about this. Do stay tuned. Instant coffee increases dry age-related macular degeneration, the eyes. And the risk from instant coffee is nearly 7 times higher compared with other coffee types, according to genetic studies. I've got to repeat that because it astounded me when I saw it. Instant coffee increases dry age-related muscular degeneration, the risk nearly 7-fold compared to other coffee types. We'll go through the other coffee types. Each cup of instant coffee causes the equivalent of 0.38 years additional biological aging. It doesn't say much, 0.38, but over the years, it's affecting your eyes. I'm now in my 76th year of life, so over those years, I started drinking coffee, say, about 12 years of age, and so it's been 63, 64 years of drinking coffee, instant coffee. It's 0.38 multiplied by 68. I've reduced my life expectancy of my eyes by a big amount. Now, instant coffee contains contaminants like acrylamide, lead, advanced glycation end products due to intense heat processing methods. I've read that, so it was a bit stilted, I know. Filtered coffee uses freshly ground beans and shows no harmful effects on telomeres or eye disease in the research studies. Now, if you look in my channel, you'll see that I've done to 3 videos on fresh coffee beans. 4, because I showed you my bean smasher where you drop the beans in and it's all and it turns it into powder. And I've shown you two styles of coffee filters, which I really love, and they're in my channel, so in this channel, so have a look for them. Now, experts will recommend completely avoiding instant coffee and switching to organic, shade-grown, filtered coffee to protect your long-term eye and physical health. Now, as I say, this, what I'm going to tell you, is from an American report from the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. Now, they tested and found 19,828,000 Americans currently have some form of age-related macular degeneration, AMD, to be short, age-related macular degeneration. This condition causes poor sight in low light conditions, blurred vision, blank spots in the field of vision, even issues of analysing colours. Now, I have suffered from blurred vision and it got really bad. And I find I suffer also from when I'm driving, headlights blast into my eyes, in the night. I'm talking about and driving in the night, lights come into my eyes, and I am almost blinded for several seconds. So this age-related macular degeneration, AMD, is broken down into 2 different types. Now let's see if I can get them. Yes. Dry AMD, almost 90% of those with AMD have the dry type. It's marked by drusen. Drusen is a tiny yellow protein deposits building up under your macula, the central part of your retina. So it builds up and it's blocking the light coming in to your eye. Now that's dry. Now there's a wet AMD as well. And this occurs when blood vessels develop under your macula and your retina, and they leak blood. Again, you can't see with blood in your eye, can you? In a study in the Food Science and Nutrition, researchers explored how consumption of instant coffee is linked to AMD, age-related macular degeneration. Using genetic data and varied statistical analysis methods, the team tested their hypothesis to see if the connection was more than just a coincidence. So they're not just saying, oh, look, we've seen these connections. They tested those connections. And specifically, they used a method called Mendelian randomization, which looks at genetic variations associated with behaviors to test whether drinking instant coffee truly causes vision loss. So they tested, so does it really cause vision loss? And what did they find? The study population was drawn from massive data sets of genetic information with particular focus on those carrying risk markers for AMD. Unlike standard observational studies that can be clouded by lifestyle factors like smoking or poor diet, this approach removes much of the guesswork. The findings laid out a clear impact on eye health. For every increase in instant coffee consumption, let me say that again, for every increase in instant coffee consumption, the odds of developing dry AMD shot up nearly 7-fold. Now that's an extraordinary increase, one that should take anyone who relies on instant coffee to make them stop and reconsider. That's what I'm doing. That's what I've done. But only in the last few days. But I have been, in the last few months, leaving the instant coffee in the tin and having ground beans, and I've had I've had Japanese, French, Italian, American, Amazonian, and African beans, and so I've had a varied, different taste, and it makes it fun and exciting. Now the results of this survey. So I will quote them. So it says, our results revealed a genetic correlation between instant coffee consumption and dry AMD, with each standard deviation increase in instant coffee intake associated with a corresponding odds ratio of approximately 6.92 for dry AMD, indicating a 6.92 increase in risk. Different methods were used to test the hypothesis. The researchers used 3 different statistical methods: genetic correlation, Mendelian randomization, and the Bayesian colocalization to test the strength of the link. 2 of those methods showed a strong causal connection between instant coffee and age-related macular degeneration. Strong cause. How instant coffee fared against other types. Instant coffee was consistently singled out as an AMD risk, while other coffee preparations, ground and decaffeinated, were not flagged in the same way. This means the problem is unique to instant coffee. The additives, the processing techniques, and the contaminants specific to it are the culprits. The mechanisms behind instant coffee effects. The study points out that AMD is linked with oxidative stress, mitochondrial dysfunction, and a buildup of toxic byproducts in the retina. Studies have reported that the production of instant coffee may lead to the formation of potentially harmful substances such as acrylamide and advanced glycation end products, AGESs, which have been implicated in oxidative stress and inflammation responses to the retina. Instant coffee is made by brewing a concentrated extract and then spray drying or freeze drying the liquid. This intense heat and concentration generates high levels of Maillard reaction byproducts. Sorry about these technical words, I don't know them, and often involves added ingredients, e.g. sugar and creamer. Other types of coffee do not have similar additives. The takeaway here is clear. I'm still reading their report. If you stop drinking instant coffee, you reduce your odds of AMD by almost 7 times. By making a switch now, you give yourself the best chance at preserving your vision as you age. If you do use instant coffee formulations, make sure that coffee is certified organic and free from hazardous contaminants such as heavy metals. Instant coffee found to speed up aging. So we've talked about eyes. How about age, a general age? Okay, instant coffee found to speed up aging. Not only does instant coffee increase your risk of AMD, it's also found to age you faster overall. In a study published in Nutrients, researchers investigated how different types of coffee affect biological aging, using data from the UK Biobank. So we've gone from America, we're now in UK. The researchers focused on telometer length. Telometers are little waves in your eyes, okay, and in your bodies. Telometer length serves as a marker for aging. Every time your cells divide, telometers get shorter. When they become too short, the cells stop dividing and dies. This is a natural process and is one of the reasons aging happens, according to the researchers. Well, yes, we see my neck It's getting a bit better now because I've started doing a little bit of exercise and I'm stopped drinking instant coffees. Telomeres, protein protected short sequences of DNA located at the ends of chromosomes, are shortened with each somatic cell cycle. So every time the cells born, grow, and die is a cycle. Telomeres preserve hereditary information by keeping chromosomes stable and shorten after each length division. Therefore, telomere length as a biological indicator of aging dictates the cell's prolific history. Instant coffee ages you faster. The researchers separate instant coffee, filtered coffee, and overall coffee consumption, and what they found was striking. Both total coffee and instant coffee were linked to shorter telomeres, but instant coffee stood out as being far more harmful. For each cup of instant coffee was associated with the equivalent of 0.38 years of additional aging compared to just 0.12 years for general coffee intake. Filter coffee, in contrast, had no measurable link in telomere shortening. Hence, I'm looking a bit younger than I did a couple of weeks ago. Hence, essentially, the way your coffee is prepared and what's in it makes a big difference for your long-term health. Wow. Good to know. Good to know. Let's see if we've got anything else for you. Ground coffee, which I recommend, could reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, whereas instant coffee might increase the risk. Instant coffee consumption has been proven to be associated with obesity. Compared to women who did not regularly drink coffee, those who drank instant coffee had a higher risk of developing breast cancer. I'll repeat that. Compared to women who didn't regularly drink coffee, those who drank instant coffee had a higher risk of developing breast cancer. Wow. The mineral lead in instant coffee was more abundant than in other coffee types, and long-term consumption of instant coffee may result in excessive lead in the body. Additional substances added to commercial instant coffee, such as cream, I've already covered that bit, so I won't cover that bit. Right, let's see if I'm going to finish soon, but I just want to put a couple of more details if I can find them. Instant coffee was regarded as a risk factor for Alzheimer's disease and frailty in the elderly. Instant coffee might have the effect of shortening the telomere length, which we've already discussed, and might lead to occurrence and development of diseases. And we've talked about diabetes, Alzheimer's, The right coffee is safer for your health. According to researchers, filtered coffee had no effect on the length of your telomeres, indicating that freshly ground coffee is the best way to enjoy it without affecting your health. We found that coffee in these are the report, and I'm going to end it with their report. We found that coffee intake and instant coffee intake were negatively correlated with telomere length, but there is no significant correlation between filtered coffee and the telomere length. So that was my medical warning for today. Whether you take it on board, instant coffee is dangerous to your eyes, dangerous to your aging, dangerous to your body. Will bring in and make it easier for you to get Alzheimer's and type 2 diabetes. The Alzheimer's is something that came about a couple of decades now, but when you think about it, older people didn't used to drink coffee. they were all tea. And they didn't drink filtered coffee, they drank instant coffee when it was made available. Industry has given us foods, given us drinks, which are bad for our health. And we need to look after our health. We need to research, what are we putting into our bodies? I know. You should know. Please let me have your comments on this one. Please press that like button and don't forget to subscribe. It doesn't cost you a penny, doesn't cost you even a cent. It's not even a rupee to subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. Press the subscribe button. It does help me. It does encourage me. And I'm being discouraged by Facebook and YouTube and TikTok. They don't want me. But they will if you subscribe and you show your support. Until the next video I make, don't forget to come back. Until the next one, be safe, be good, and it's goodbye from DJ.